Good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come in the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, historical calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and you are you. Today is, what is today, Thursday? Yeah, aka Thursday, June 15th, 2023. So, let's jump into today's history, shall we? We have 18 pages on this script of what I researched and wrote last night, or yesterday, from what I personally found interesting, so we're probably not going to go through everything, but let's get through as much as we can. We're going to start us off here in 763 BC. The Assyrians recorded a solar eclipse that will be used to fix the chronology of Mesopotamian history. And that's pretty wild. Because as I keep saying, everything is connected. You can utilize this to figure this out, which, conjunctions to that, connects over to here, conjoins over there. Like, everything is connected. It's wild when you start putting the dots together in ways that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to. Going to move on up to 778. That's like nearly 1,000. Like, is that? No, that's 1,400 years, roughly. We got Willibald, abbot of Heidenheim, dictated his pilgrimage to the Holy Land 50 years before to Non-Hugbrook, who recorded this and biography of William and his brother, the first known English woman writer. Alright, cool. We also got here in 923, the Battle of Soissons. King Robert J. of France was killed, and King Charles the Simple was arrested by the supporters of Duke Rudolph of Burgundy. Yikes. Back in the day where leaders of people actually fought side by side them. What a concept. You're leading people, into good and bad. You got to stand with them, We also have, 1094, the conquest of Valencia. Rodrigo Diaz de Weaver, El Cid, occupied Valencia on the Morin. Alright. We're going to move on up here to King John signs the Magna Carta. 1215, English King John signed the Magna Carta at Runnymede, near Windsor in Surrey, placed limits on royal authority, and put in writing the principle that the king and his government are not above the law. All right, good. So that's a biggie in Western history right there. I'm going to move on up to 1219. The Dannebrog was the flag of Denmark and the oldest national flag in the world. According to legend, it fell from the sky during the Battle of Leidenius, which is now Tallinn in Estonia, and turned the Danes' luck. Alright, flag from the sky. Cool. What else do we have? 1246, battle at Lithia River between Hungarian forces of King Bela IV of Hungary and Austrian army of Duke Frederick III. Austrian victory, but Frederick was killed. That's unfortunate, but once again, I put that in there. That's another example of, the leader of men going in and fighting alongside his brothers, and in some cases dying. So, well, we also got here 1246 with the death of, while that was happening, with the death of Duke Frederick II at the Battle of Lithia, the Brandenburg dynasty ended in Austria. Yikes. So, these people had more than their life on the line. They had an entire legacy, and if they didn't make an heir, or the heir didn't, the heir didn't make it in one way or another, then that could be the end of their entire lineage. Pretty crazy. 1567, the Republic of Genoa expelled Jews from its whole territory. I wonder why. Not like, as Bill Burr says, not every ass-kicking falls out of the sky. And over the past 5,000 years, over 200 some odd countries have gotten rid of them. So I really doubt they all just wanted to hate on Jews. There has to be some kind of confrontation to occur at some point. So 1580, Philip II of Spain declared William I of Orange an outlaw and placed a bounty on his head of 25,000 crowns. Whatever that is. Put 25,000 crowns on his head. Wow. You think just putting one crown would be not cool, but 25,000? Okay. Let's see here. What else do we have? That was 1580. We have 1598. Battle of San Juan. British forces led by Sir George Clifford attacked Spanish-held San Juan, capturing the citadel El Moro and holding it for 65 days. Ah, all right. 1626, King Charles I disbanded England Parliament. That's not nice. I think he was the one who was executed for treason. Yeah, decapitation. There we go. Yeah. He, I don't know what to think about him. Because, like, he did a lot of bad things and he did a lot of good. He did some good. I don't know. But there is a movie about this guy. Good old Pencilhead. What else do we have here? 1643. Abel Tasman returned to Batavia after discovering Tasmania and New Zealand and completing, without realizing it, a circumnavigation of Australia. Alright, that's pretty cool. Moving on up to 1667. The first fully documented human blood transfusion was performed by French physician Dr. Jean-Baptiste Denis when a small amount of sheep blood is transfused into a 15-year-old boy who survived the procedure. Alright, all the way back in 1667 were they doing blood transfusions. That's pretty wild. Sheep's blood to a human. And obviously, you know, it can take. But I wonder if he just got lucky. Like, do animals have different bloods like us? Like, you know, we have, like, you know, A positive, B positive, O minus. You know, we have, like, you know, all these different blood types. Do animals have blood types? You know what? Let's look. Do animals have blood types? Animal blood groups are different from humans. For example, dogs have A, B, C, D, F, or TR blood groups. Cattle have A, B, C, F. All animals have blood and have a blood group. Okay, so that answers that question right there. Anyway, let's move on up here. We got 1762. Austria used first paper currency. Cool. And I'm not sure, especially with a better mic now, but you might be hearing our neighbor's yard getting invaded, or someone's yard getting invaded by the weekly gardeners. Anyway, 1775. Sorry, wow, I almost skipped over good old George here. George Washington was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army the day after Congress established the force. That's a biggie. It's highlighted here. You know, how could I have missed it? I am dumb diddy dum dum. But we also have 1785. 2 French balloonists die in the world's first fatal aviation accident. Of course, it has to be the French. But hey, you know, if not them, then who? So it was them. We also have 1802. Toussaint Louverture left Haiti, prisoner of on French ship Héros. So this guy was a general and revolutionary. And was he executed? While in prison, exact cause of no. So he died in prison. That's unfortunate. But he was really trying to stand up for his people. And unfortunately, like when the powers that be have turned sour, the first people they go after are the good ones. So let's move on up here. 1804, 12th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution establishing the procedure for electing the President and Vice President was ratified in Congress. I think that should be highlighted. That's pretty important, you know? So, we also got the auspicious incident in 1826. Ottoman Sultan Muhammad II abolished the elite Janissary Corps, executing thousands for treason to make way for a more modern army. Whoa. Oh. Alright, he wants to modernize now, and he got rid of everybody in his ways, it seems like. We also got here, 1836, Arkansas became the 25th state of the Union. Alright. Now, why is it Arkansas and not Arkansas? Or why is Kansas not called Kansas? That's a question right there. Maybe I'll start calling Kansas Kansas and Arkansas and Arkansas Arkansas. So, we have Arkansas and Kansas. I'm going to start doing that. It's going to be difficult, but anyway, 1842, John C. Fremont set off from Kansas River on his first expedition of the Oregon Trail with frontiersman Kit Carson as his guide. Alright. In 1844, Charles Goodyear patented the vulcanization of rubber. Yep, that's what led to tires and all that stuff, you know, like the Goodyear Tire Corporation. Before that, we went through tires a hell of a lot faster, and it was a lot worse, or a lot more difficult to make them and all that stuff. So can you imagine a tire, instead of costing $250, one tire is like $1,000? Like, that's kind of what it was like back then. Vulcanization, like, really opened the way. It's wild. We also got in 1846, speaking of Oregon, the Oregon Treaty was signed, setting U.S.-British boundary at the 49 degree, 49 degrees north. So, which we will be talking about that here in a minute. First off, I want to talk about 1851. Jacob Fussell, Baltimore dairyman, set up the first ice cream factory. You scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream. Especially if you're an old guy named Brandon, you like 2 scoops of double chocolate chip. We also have 1857 San Francisco Water Works organized. All right, good old San Fran. And then 1859, as I said about the whole Oregon Treaty thing, the Pig War. Ambiguity in the Oregon Treaty led to the northwestern boundary dispute between the U.S. and British/Canadian settlers, and we almost went to war over this, over the shooting of a pig. I strongly suggest anyone watching after this video, of course, go check out the Pig War. Open up a tab and open it on the search bar, so that way you don't forget, because it is a really interesting and kind of frightening little tidbit of history that a lot of people aren't really aware of. We almost went to war with Britain again over this. It was nuts. Anyway, moving on up to 1860, we have the first white settlement in Idaho, specifically Franklin. All right. The first thing I think about in Franklin is like that little turtle cartoon. 1863, Second Battle at Winchester, Virginia ended in federal defeat with 1,350 casualties. 1,350. That's, wounded and dead. Those just people who've been hit. Yikes. Moving on up to 1864, Battle of Petersburg began as General Ulysses S. Grant assaulted the Confederate line at the important southern rail center of Petersburg. All right. What else happened? On that same day, in 1864 as well, Captain Mendel began building 640-meter-long pontoon bridge over James River in Virginia. All right, got to get the army across a bridge. So, there we go. And then in 1864 as well, Robert E. Lee's home area, Arlington, Virginia, became a military cemetery. All right, and that was obviously still during the war. And he died 6 years later, so he lost his home. And Arlington National Cemetery, anybody who's been there, Robert E. Lee's home was there. The entirety of Arlington National Cemetery, the whole grounds, that all used to be his plantation. And now it's a military cemetery. So, really interesting. Moving on up, we also have in 1864 as well, U.S. Congress passed legislation equalizing pay for black soldiers. All right. I fully support that. It's just wild to think that it didn't used to be like that, But hey, different times, different acceptances. I like to think we're better than that today. But I look around and not a lot of things have changed. So, 1867, Atlantic Cable Quartz lode mine located in Montana. All right. 1869, Mike McCool of the U.S. defeated Tom Allen of England in bare-knuckle bout. I just thought that was pretty interesting. So, just punching each other. Moving on up to 1869 as well, the world's first plastic celluloid was patented by John Wesley Hiatz in Albany, New York. Huh. All right. 1871, Phoebe Cousins was the first woman graduate of a U.S. collegiate law school. Cool. 1876, Sarah Spencer, Republican, was the first woman to address a U.S. presidential convention. All right. 1876 as well, tsunamis after earthquake flooded northeast coast of Japan, killing 28,000 people. Whoa. Yikes. Just don't live in these densely populated areas, man. Natural disasters are everywhere, but I don't know what Japan's going to do. There's way too many of them, for that little island. I guess they could theoretically go live in the mountains or something. I mean, there's it's not like they have a lack of land. They're just all densely populated in little pockets. But if they spread out, I'm sure they can probably alleviate that situation quite a bit. Anyway, we got some military history here. In 1877, Henry Ossian Flipper became the first black U.S. citizen to graduate from West Point Military Academy. Nice.
Well,
all right, hey Vinny, welcome to the show. How you doing?
hey, I'm all right. Glad to be here.
I'm glad that you're back.
Hope it's not too late.
No, actually, we're only 15 minutes in. I'm still in the 1800s, but we have quite a bit of history here today. We're gonna move on up here to 1878, and if anybody here has seen the movie Nope, which I have, this little next article here is rather interesting. The world's first moving pictures caught on camera using 12 cameras, each taking one picture each, was done to see if all 4 of a horse's hooves left the ground. In which case, it looks like, yeah, it does. Frame 2 and 3, all 4 hooves are off the ground right there. So, but everybody talks about the horse, as it said in the movie Nope, which the main characters are supposedly the great-grandchildren of the rider of that horse, who is a black guy, apparently. So,
Neat.
yeah,
That's lit.
now I'm not sure if that's actually true or if they're like if they made something up just for like the movie's sake, but I think it might be true. You know what? Hold on a second. Who was the rider of the multiple picture horse? The horse in motion. Okay, here we go. Yeah, hold on a second. Edward Mybridge. Okay. No, I don't think he's the guy who is on the horse. Who's the rider of the horse in motion? In the film. Okay, well this is Nope inquiry right there. So this is what I'm saying. It's really dangerous to get invalid facts because it's like, who is the rider in the horse in motion? So you think that it's talking about this specific thing. No, this is about Nope. That's why I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure if it's factually accurate or if they made it up for the sake of the movie. So, who is the first moving image of a horse rider? Here we go. Horse in motion. Edward Mybridge. Okay, so he took the picture. Leland Stanford, horse breeder and founder of Stanford. Okay, well, this is going to require some digging, so please, I offer this as the first challenge of the day to the viewers. Who was the actual rider of that horse? Was it a black guy, as it was said in Nope, or did Nope make something up because of political agendas and all that stuff? How Hollywood is these days. Don't forget of who the producer of that movie was. So, just saying. Anyway, Mr. Vinny.
All right, which one?
Let's do this one here.
Gotcha. In 1887, Charlize D. Graham survives second ride in a barrel down Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. But yeah, so second time somebody went over the Niagara Falls in a barrel. Pretty wild.
Bang. That's scary.
This next one is very scary here.
Let's see. Emperor Wilhelm II. In 1888, Wilhelm II becomes Emperor of Germany.
Yeah, and I believe he was the Emperor of Germany that got them into the First World War. So, after German lost its war, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. So he was the leader of Germany during the First World War. So, and then for your third one, here we go.
That's a yikes.
For the third. Let's see, okay. In 1896, tsunami strikes Shinto Festival at beach. At Sonriku, Japan, 27,000 are killed, 9,000 are injured, 13,000 houses destroyed.
Wow, 27,000 people dead.
Well,
wow.
That's God saying don't worship other things besides me. Like, literally, I am the creator.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're worshiping. Like, what is Shinto? And like,
I think don't they worship things that think there's other life to it, or I don't know. I don't even know what it is.
Well, let's not get into that. I don't like that kind of thinking personally. That this was an attack on them from God. This is just weather. Because we had a tsunami just in 1876. The tsunamis after earthquake flooded northeast coast of Japan, killing 28,000. So that was actually worse. This is 1,000 less are killed. But I don't want to sit here and think that it's because they're worshiping false idols. That's a really ignorant mindset, in my opinion. So, let's move on up here. 1898, U.S. House of Representatives passed resolution to annex Hawaii. Yikes. So, we also have, moving on up into the 1900s, finally, 1902, Canada's maritime provinces switched from Eastern to Atlantic time. All right. And while that was happening, in minor league's most lopsided baseball game, Corsicana 51, Texarkana 3, Justin Clark of Corsicana, Texas Miners hits 8 home runs in one game. Whoa. That's impressive. Cool. You still there, Vinny?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Let's move on up here. See, I have one here in 1904. This one. Ooh, wow.
Alright, 1904. Side wheeler passenger paddle streamer General Slocum burns in New York's East River. 1,031 die.
Yikes.
There's a name of a street actually. Like I live by named Slocum.
Huh.
That's funny.
I wonder if that's related. Like if they named the street after this event, in honor of the Slocum.
Huh. Maybe.
That's something you should look into.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, but here we go.
Alright, in 1907, researcher George Soffer publishes the results of his investigation into the recent typhoid outbreaks in New York area and announces that Mary Malone, Typhoid Mary, is the likely source of the outbreak.
Yeah, she was a carrier of typhoid fever, which killed people back in those days. I'm not sure if it still does today or what, if there's a vaccine or what, but I don't think there is. I'm not sure. But essentially, she was asymptomatic. She didn't suffer, but she was a carrier. And they actually had to confine her to like some hospital island or something. Like, you know how you have all those islands out in the rivers around Manhattan and everything? They had to confine her to like one of those islands for the rest of her life. Otherwise, she would spread typhoid. Like, she infected like many other people. Let's see, at least 53 people, mostly the family she worked for, and their staff. The actual number of people she infected is much likely higher, as Mary changed both her name and jobs to hide from officials. So not only was she like a spreader of typhoid, but she was trying to duck the authorities so she can live a normal life. But in doing so, she was killing people. So that's very selfish of her. But yeah. What else do we have here? This one's kind of spooky here. 1907 as well.
1907, the Second Hague Peace Conference meets in an attempt to stop the arms race. Germany resists, but conference does make important rules around the rights of neutral powers.
Yeah, and that's just like what, 5 years before the outbreak of the First World War. Like there's a lot of politics and conferences and treaties and this and that, and like as it said, hindsight is 2020. You can like literally see the buildup unfolding right there, and as a historian, I'm seeing it happen again. In today's world, like socioeconomic, geopolitical stuff, not just in our country, but the whole world, and like all the roles people are playing. Like China is essentially acting like Germany. We are essentially acting like the UK. Like, it's wild. Anyway, we're going to move on up here. We have in 1911, the Tabulating Computing Recording Corporation, later called IBM, was incorporated. All right. We all know about IBM, one of the biggest tech companies in the world. Okay. Anyway.
Which one?
IBM, are you not? Are you there?
Yeah, my bad. I lost focus. I'm sorry. My thing bugged.
Okay. Yeah.
Which one?
The IBM.
Oh, the IBM. All right.
Yeah, you know what IBM is, right?
No, honestly.
The tech company. All right. Anyway,
No.
1915, the U.S. government minted the first $50 gold pieces for Panama Pacific Expo. All right. And here we go. The first Boeing. Your turn now.
All right. In 1916, Boeing model B&W seaplane, the first Boeing product, files for the first time.
Flies.
Or flies. Yeah.
I guess flew. Like, Let's see. What does a seaplane look like? Images. There we go. So yeah, this is the first Boeing airplane. You know, like the major jumbo jets that Boeing makes today.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Am I interrupting something?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What do you mean? No, I'm looking.
Okay. Yeah, like the Boeing 747 and all those Stratofortress and all that stuff. This is their very first plane.
Wow.
Really cool. So it's a box. Well,
I think I've seen those in like films before.
probably. And here we go.
1916, Boy Scouts of America forms. Oh, I was a Boy Scout when I was young. That's cool.
Yeah. Paramilitary propaganda.
Not many come to live to see the day. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
What?
I was making a little dark joke saying many don't come to see the day or live the tale. Because Boy Scouts stories and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of ominous right there. We're going to move on now to 1919. We have the first non-stop Atlantic flight. The Alcock and Brown landed in Ireland. All right. So flying across the Atlantic non-stop all the way in 1919. Then let's see here. I don't want to read this. This is horrifying. But I implore the viewers, please go to our links in the description, the underbar, and read this yourself, among other things. There's a lot of history that happens, both horrifying and good things. Here's a good one. 1921, Bessie Coleman earned her pilot license in France, becoming the first black U.S. Citizen, female, and Native American to hold one. All the way out in France. Wow. Like, that just goes to show you. That kind of reminds me, like, Gabriel Iglesias, he does a whole thing about when he went to Saudi Arabia and how it took him all the way to go halfway across the entire world before he's actually called an American citizen. Like, despite being one. Like, everybody always like, oh, how's it like being a Latina comedian? It's like, he's not a Latina comedian. He's a Latino comedian. He's an American comedian, a U.S. comedian. He happens to be Mexican, but he's from here, So, like... Anyway, we also have 1924, first transmission of radio below Mendel. I don't know what that means. But while that was happening, in 1924 as well, Ford Motor Company manufactures its 10th millionth automobile. 10 millionth automobile. Wow. 10 million cars. Can you imagine that? 1924, there's 10 million Model Ts?
Wow.
Wow.
Probably making bank.
Oh, yeah. Like, no lie. So.
Especially around that time.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, he made, like, that was essentially, like, what Hitler was trying to do with Volkswagen, because Volkswagen is literally people's car in German. Like, Ford was making the automobile more available to the common people. And Elon Musk would like to think of himself as a modern day, Ford, with all the Tesla stuff. But that's the whole thing that's not going to end well. So, but anyway, let's move on up here. 1924 as well. J. Edgar Hoover assumed leadership of the FBI. And fun fact, atop of him being a cross-dresser, he was also pen pals with Shirley Temple. Believe it or not. And he actually gave her like a tear gas pen because she was receiving death threats after having appeared on some show with, I think it was Bojangles, some black actor. And, racism was like the real deal back in that time.
There's a restaurant. That's funny. Bojangles.
Yeah.
Someone told me about that. They said, "You never heard of Bojangles?" I said, "No." I don't remember. I was talking to someone. I think it's like a southern fast food joint or something. But yeah.
Anyway, if you want to take another turn, here we go. We can start us off here.
Or 1929, first New York Curb Stock Exchange transacts more business than NY Exchange. Or would that be Exchange?
Exchange, I believe so. Yeah.
I guess it got cut or something. I don't know.
Well, no, like they abbreviate things sometimes for whatever reason. So, like as if they need to shorthand it. It's like, dude, you're a source of information. You don't need to shorthand things.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes they like like NY for New
Like,
York.
it
Sometimes they
confuses people.
straight up write. Sometimes they abbreviate New York as NY. Sometimes they straight up write the full words New York. It's like just be consistent with how you provide your information source. Come on.
I kind of have a feeling like it's not even just one writer, maybe. I'm convinced.
Oh,
it's
obviously not. Like, it takes a team to do something like this.
Yeah, especially. So it's like, that's why, I mean, they should at least make an agreement just to be consistent about it. I don't disagree with that though. Yeah.
What else do we got?
Let's see. Hold on, the quality's a little off.
Actually, this one first.
Oh, okay. In 1931, Eddie Collins and Harry Hellman retire from baseball.
All right. Now we go talk about this one here.
1934, Great Smoky Mountains National Park on the border between North Carolina and Tennessee is dedicated.
All right. Cool.
That's lit.
4 years later, speaking of lit, we got the first night game at Brooklyn Ebbets Field. Reds 6, Dodgers none. As Cincinnati Red Johnny Vander Meer hurls unprecedented second consecutive no-hitter. Whoa. Whoa. This guy's on fire. That guy's lit. So, what else do we have here? 1940. Bread and flour were rationed in Holland. Yeah, for the war effort, obviously. While that was happening, German troops occupied Paris as French resistance to the German invasion crumbled. Yikes.
Wow.
Yep. And then, let's see here. 1940, I must have missed it here. What? They changed it. They changed it. Like, you can see right here, I have World War II, France surrenders to Nazi Germany, German troops occupy Paris. They must have changed it today. Because this is different, but it's the same thing. Huh.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Anyway, it's not the first time I've seen something like that. That's weird. Well, it's not weird. Like, they update things, like, on the day, it sounds like. Anyway, moving on up. Bradman out for a duck, whatever the hell that means. 1948, in his Farewell Ashes tour, Don Bradman is out for a duck, which is 0 in the Australian second innings. But tourists win first test against England by 8 wickets at Nottingham. I'll tell you that, Mike. In 1950, Dutch police seize condoms. It's a weird thing to go after. Okay. Yeah.
I don't blame them. I mean, maybe because they want to try to up their populations. I don't know.
So what? You're going to make prophylactics illegal? All you're going to do is open up a black market. Everything is going to go underground. It always does. Like,
I mean, yeah, I could see that too. I'm not saying like they're right for that. I'm just saying that's probably why they did it, though, most likely. You know, because like so many places are just like population control, like everywhere.
I don't know.
But that would be my.
Wait, what the hell?
Oh no!
Vietnam police
no!
seized 345,000 used condoms.
Ew, that sounds so gross.
They had been cleaned and resold as new. That's something else. What the hell? Like, okay.
They get recycled? Oh no, I need never to do those.
Gross. I did not expect that when looking for why. Hold on a second. Why did Dutch
That was so random.
police seize condoms in 1950?
Well,
I
don't
gotta be
know.
more specific with my inquiries. Catholic priests and the fertility transition among Dutch. Huh. So would this be it? Oh.
Like I said, it's probably
maybe this might be something to do with that. So I'm going to add this in the under the description for a possible stepping stone into that rabbit hole. But we got to move on up here. 1951.
That's my theory. They just want to update. They just want to upgrade their population. Say we need more people. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1951. 1951. Joe Louis. I nearly said John Lewis. I don't know why, but Joe Louis scored his last knockout victory.
All right.
Oh.
Like, wham! Stay down. Oh. Oh, wow. This one's kind of interesting here.
Oh, 1953. Browns and Yankees win streak at 18 and Browns 14 game losing streak.
So the Wankies, the Yankees. I don't mean to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm not even British. What the hell? The Yankees had a win streak of 18 and they lost, and the Browns had a losing streak of 14 and they won. So they both like canceled each other's streaks out, kind of. That's pretty cool.
I'm dead.
Why the hell did I say Wankies? What the hell?
I have no idea, but that was just hilarious to me, though.
Oh man, somebody's got to clip that. Anyway, 1953 as well, New York City Transit Authority formed. Oh, pretty sure you've used them a couple of times.
Okay, so which one? I'm sorry.
1953, New York City Transit Authority formed.
Oh, could I do the other one on top and then I'll go to that?
Okay, go for it.
So 1953, the New York Yankees first baseman Johnny Buza is 93rd MLB player to get 2,000 hits. That's awesome, actually. Wow, that's a lot.
Man, like you know what the saying is: everybody looks at first place, nobody looks at second place. Then why the hell do we have 93rd place documented?
Oh, well, yeah. But you know what? That's still cool. That's a lot of hits.
It is.
All right, so let's see. 1950. Oh wait, you want which one? I thought you wanted the one above.
You can take this one here if you want.
Okay, sure. 1954. Great Britain's two, or I guess second. That would mean
Two.
Second. No. Okay. Oh, two biggest steel factories nationalized.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. I see.
Two of their largest factories were nationalized, so now they work for the people, not just private company. It's a government installation now. Yikes.
Oh, so how would have they said second? I wonder. Like.
Well, the two biggest, so the first and the second. Biggest.
Oh, okay. Or they could spell. That's true.
Well, it says factory, so it's plural, so it's obviously not second.
No, I know. I'm saying like if they were to put it is what I'm curious about. But I guess we'll find out one day, if they show it. But that's off topic.
We can ask the viewers to go down that rabbit hole, provide us information in the comments section.
Mm-hmm.
That's always an option. But we got the first Operation Alert here.
All right, in 1955, the Eisenhower administration stages the first annual Operation Alert Opal exerts in attempt to assesses the USA's preparations for a nuclear attack.
Yep. And for the sake of time, we're gonna just utilize the unless there's one here, unless there's something I see immediately. Like 1955, Galapagos Islands were made Ecuador's first national park, banning the capture of species. Good. It took that long to do that, but hey. As I said, for the sake of time, we're just going to stick to the highlighted ones because we're already almost 40 minutes in. We're still in 1960. And speaking of 1960, Angel Cordero Jr. won his first of over 7,000 horse races. That's a lot of horse races. What else do we have? 1960 as well. Argentina complained to the United Nations about Israelis' illicit transfer of Adolf Eichmann. God, why are they fighting so hard to keep a Nazi? Kill the guy. Like, I never thought I'd be siding with Israel, but I am on this point. Like, wow. Anyway, back to you. You got a musical finale here.
All right. In 1963, Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein, its musical "The Sound of Music" closes at Lunt Fontanni Theater in New York City after 1,443 performances.
Yeah, 1,443 performances. That's quite a bit.
Oh. Wow.
That's some baseball history.
Let's see.
And music recording.
In 1963, San Francisco Giants future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Juan Marshall no-hits Houston
45s won the out.
Ah. Are the Colt 45s still around? Or have they been banned because they're named after a gun?
I mean, there's a beer named after that.
Huh. I wonder if they're still around. Houston Colt 45s. Oh, now they're the Astros. So they got renamed because of propaganda. Okay.
I was gonna say, because there's a drink after that too. I don't know if that's literally like named after the what they're called. You said a gun?
What?
Wait, you said what is Colt 45 a gun?
Yes,
Oh.
I believe. It's a Colt 45 caliber. Point 45. Colt 45. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
Honestly, no.
Well, you live in New York, of course you wouldn't.
I don't know too much about guns. Yeah, they really don't teach us that, sadly.
Yeah. Oh, you New Yorkers, you're a living stereotype. You know that?
Listen, I would love a gun, but my state prevents me from having one, sadly.
I'm in the same boat, all the way out here in California. On the other side, literally, you're in the northeast. I'm in the southwest. I can't get a gun because of various political reasons, like nothing I've done, just how the system is. But I am on the weed list, which for the rest of my life, because I have some green, I can't own a firearm. Although it's perfectly legal for drunks to drink and drive and
what I find so ironic about that law, especially like around here, and it's like all legal states. Literally, cops off duty can do it and still own a gun, but literally us people, if we smoke any trace,
Yeah, that's hypocritical. That is against the Second Amendment right there, majorly.
Exactly.
But let's get back. Let's get back on track here. We got to talk about history, not modern politics.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's. I'm going to give you both of these 65s because this next one is baseball, and I know you like baseball. So take these two. Go for it.
In 1965, Bob Dylan records single "Like a Rolling Stone," #1 in Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest songs of all time.
Oh, of course they're going to name it that. It has their freaking magazine name in the title. Of course they're going to say, "Oh, this song's about me. It's #1." Like, of course. Favoritism.
And in 1965, Detroit pitcher Denny McLain, in relief, strikes out first batters faced and record 14 in 6-2-3 innings in Tigers 6-5 win over Boston Red Sox. Bill Freeman ties catcher record of 19 putouts.
Wow, is that striking out? 19?
I guess, huh?
Dang. We're going to move on up to 1966. We have the Mexican record temperature of 52.5 degrees Celsius or 126.5 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade was recorded in San Luis Rio Colorado, Sonora. That is hot. That is, oh, hell no. Like, get me out of there. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then 365 more days later, 1967, Governor Reagan signed liberalized California abortion bill. Yeah, yikes. So, yeah, gross. Like liberals. Bleh. So, we're going to move on up here. I'm just, let's see here. I'm just scanning real quick to see if there's any interesting things. Well, let's see here. Just moving on up. Come on, give me something good. Everything's either sports or music. Oh, this one's interesting. This is sports. But 1976, a rain out. Astrodome canceled the game because heavy rain made it difficult for visiting team and umpires to get through flooded streets to the stadium. Wow. That's when that is when I would say, oh, maybe it is an act of God. Like, he doesn't want them to play. Like, huh. What else do we have? Ooh, 1977. This should be highlighted. This is pretty big, especially for the Spanish. Spain's first re-election since 1936, 41 years, because of Francisco Franco and his damn revolution. So, let's get back to you, good sir. Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting here.
All right. 1979, first space shuttle SRB qualification test firing 122 seconds.
SRB.
122.
I think that stands for single rocket burst, but let me double check. Space Shuttle SRB. Solid rocket booster. Okay, so it was rocket something. But yeah, so the test of the solid rocket booster. All right. What else do we have here? Oh yes, this is cool. I agree with this.
All right, let's see.
In 1982, Supreme Court rules all children, regardless of citizenship, are entitled to a public education.
Yes, I agree. Now, when they're done with their education, send them back home. But you know, like children are children. They need to be cared for, no matter where they're from. So, and it's really too bad that like everybody blames Trump for the children in cages on the border when Obama is the one who set that up. Nobody looks at that. So that completely disgusts me. I'm not a Trump supporter. Trust me, I am not. But you got to point the finger at the right people. So what else do we have here? 1983, Supreme Court struck down state and local restrictions on abortion. Nah, I don't think the federal government should have their finger in that at all. That's a private citizen decision, not a federal government decision. That power should be states and states alone at the absolute maximum. So, but let's see here. 1984, U.S. boxer Thomas Hearns retained WBC light middleweight title with 2-round knockout of Roberto Duran of Panama at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. This marked the first time in his illustrious career Duran was knocked out. Wow. Huh. All right. And then speaking of knocking out, let's go back to you, Mr. Vinny.
All right. 1985. Pinklon Thomas KOs Mike Weaver in 8 for heavyweight boxing title.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
And this one here, I definitely want to cover before we start, speeding it up here because we're almost 50 minutes in and we're still in the 80s. Yikes.
All right, so in 1986.
85.
85. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong one. In 1985, oh my goodness, I can't say that. Painting Dene is attacked by man later judged insane. He throws sulfuric acid on the canvas and cuts it twice with his knife.
Yeah. Attack. Let's take a look at this. This is what it looked like after the attack. He threw acid on it, sulfuric acid, and then cut it twice with a knife. Like,
what did it look like before?
this. It's a naked lady. So,
Oh.
yeah. So I guess, like, he just wanted to censor it or something. It's like indecent art. I don't know. But these nut jobs, who putting the tomato sauce on paintings and all that crap, gluing themselves to the cement, like all of these protests that they're doing, it's all the same crap. It's all stupid, and it ain't gonna broadcast your message. It's just gonna turn people against what you're trying to do. So they got to figure that out. But anyway, I'm going to take over for a little bit. I want to just rattle off some historical facts here. In 1986, we got a musical concert, and its International Conspiracy of Hope Tour concludes with mega concert at Giant Stadium in Rutherford, New Jersey. Participants included U2, Sting, Bryan Adams, Peter Gabriel, Lou Reed, Neville Brothers, Joan Baez, Joan Armatrading, Joni Mitchell, The Police, Jackson Brown, Yoko Ono, Miles Davis, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and the Hooters. All right. Also have Pripyat Nuclear Wasteland, 1986 as well. Pravda announced high-level Chernobyl staff fired for stupidity. Good. Yep. Really, they shouldn't have been there. Completely, not qualified to handle that situation. Let's see here. What else? 2001 NBA Finals. Los Angeles Lakers defeated Philadelphia 76ers 100-86 in Game 5 to win back-to-back titles. Most valuable player, Shaquille the Diesel O'Neal for second straight year. Of course. And then 2005, Batman Begins, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale, Michael Caine, and Katie Holmes, went on wide release. Cool. Ooh, here we go. Another one for you.
All right, let's see.
Both of these, actually.
Oh shoot! Hold on, my big bugging. Let me see if I can see it again. Okay, which one?
Both 2015s here, the highlighted ones.
All right, in 2015, 800-year anniversary of the birthplace of modern democracy, the signing of Magna Carta, King John at Midday, England. I don't know England like that, so.
All right. So it's the anniversary, the 800-year anniversary of the signing of the Magna Carta. So, like, it sounds like a little festival or something happened to celebrate that.
And in 2015, Jeb Bush, governor of Florida, announces that he will run for the U.S. presidency in Miami.
I remember that. And that's right. Jeb Bush was governor of Florida, and now we have DeSantis. So, And then third, actually, I'll give you two more here, 2015 and 2017.
In 2015, remains of 2,000-year-old women dubbed the Sleeping Beauty are discovered in northern Ethiopia from ancient kingdom of Aksum.
Yeah. Ethiopia. Hold on a second. Sorry, suddenly had to cough. Yeah, Ethiopia. Aksum. From the ancient kingdom of Aksum.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm going to take over here. 2017, new record set price for a parking lot in Hong Kong, $664,000. So if you want a parking lot, not a parking space, but a lot, it's over $500,000. Yikes. In Hong Kong specifically. Yeah, well, land is money. We also have 2017, Rebel Wilson won defamation case against Bearer Media at the Supreme Court of Victoria in Melbourne. All right. And then, I'll take this one here. 2018, Glasgow School of Art, designed by Charles Rene McIntosh, burnt down 4 years after a previous fire. Once again, maybe God's coming in, stay down. I don't want that on my earth. Burn it down. Anyway, this one is very awesome. Do you want to take this?
Sure. In 2018, physicist Stephen Hawking's ashes are interred in Westminster Abbey, London, between the remains of Isaac Newton's and Charles Darwin.
Oh man, what an honor! What an absolute honor to be buried there. That is, man.
Wait, so he was buried, or?
Well, his ashes, were put there. So, you know who Charles Darwin and Isaac Newton were, right?
The names are familiar, and I know Isaac Newton more than Darwin, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, Isaac Newton essentially, I wouldn't say discovered, but proved gravity real. The whole Apple thing. Hit on his head.
Yeah. Like I said, I know Newton more.
Charles Darwin is he's not alone, but he's the most famous name. But there's a couple other people who worked with him. But essentially proving the theory of proving the theory of evolution correct. So the whole creationism versus evolutionism thing, if the church had gotten their way, we wouldn't know who Charles Darwin was. So keep in mind the power of the church, the power of anybody. When they get absolute power, they control everything. So. What else do we have? 2018. This one's interesting here.
2018. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes charged with fraud over company's blood test.
All right. I don't know what that means, but
that sounds a little crude.
Yeah.
Am I using that word right?
No, like
Oh.
I have no idea how blood tests can come up fraudulent or well, I do know that, but like this specific situation, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. So if anybody who's watching, if you'd like to educate us about the semantics of this particular article, please tell us in the comment section. Well, let's move on up here. We got some more baseball history for you.
Sweet. In 2019, baseball jersey belonging to Babe Ruth becomes most expensive sports memorabilia when it sells for $5.64 million at an auction in New York. Damn.
Wow.
Wow.
That's an expensive jersey.
You were not kidding.
Yeah. Why don't you take this NBA, Mr. Sports Guy?
Okay. NBA. In 2019, blockbuster NBA trade. The New Orleans Pelicans sent forward Anthony Davis to the LA Lakers for Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and 3 future first-round draft picks, including 2019 number 4.
Wow. That's a hell of a trade for one guy.
That guy looks like Drake.
Kinda, yeah. Moving on up to 2020, and this is a little, once again, when we rely on laws to dictate how people act, if the problem is not in the law, it's in the people. It's in the society. 2020, in landmark decision, U.S. Supreme Court rules 6-3 that gay and transgender workers cannot be discriminated against in the workplace. They really aren't. Like, everything, it's all puffering.
You know what it is? They feel like they're being victimized, especially when people look at them. Like, that's the thing.
How are they victimized? Like, their flag, they've taken over the nation. Like, they got the rights to marry. How is that victimization? Like they're getting, like, they have their own Pride Month. They have Pride parades. Like, when somebody tries to do a straight Pride parade, then they get death threats. Who's the real people being victimized here? It ain't the gays. It's the straights. The turns have tabled, and really hard. So, but anyway, 2020, Philippines journalist and Time Person of the Year Maria Ressa found guilty of cyber libel in Manila and amid claims charges politically motivated. All right.
Is that Patrick Bateman?
Where?
Oh, never mind.
That's Andrew Cuomo.
Really?
Yeah.
He gives me Patrick Bateman vibes in that picture.
Okay.
That's scary.
Well, why don't you read this?
Okay,
and then
sure.
I'll finish this off.
Why not? In 2021, New York Governor, Andrew Cuomo announces that return to life as we know it, lifting all COVID-19 restrictions after the state passes 70% vaccinated with 1 dose.
All right.
I'll be honest. I love how he's so certain that, like, most of New York is vaccinated when it's like, well, I guess I'm part of the minority.
Let's not talk about that topic too hard because I think it might still be a cancelable offense on YouTube. But, like, he is part of the system, and he's just blowing smoke just to get the public to do whatever the system wants it to. It's all.
Didn't he just recently, like, resign?
I believe so. But anyway, we have a couple here. 2022, Black Death, the 14th century plague, originated in Kyrgyzstan, according to new DNA research taken from burials at Lake Esekul. And that's a little strange because up until then, it was knowledge that the bubonic plague, the Black Death, originated in Wuhan, China. So I have a feeling that that this finding is BS in order to alleviate Wuhan and China as a whole. Because, like, every major pandemic that's hit this world, like, over the past 1,000-some-odd years, and even more, like, it's all come out of China, like, one area or another. Like, the Spanish flu, the bubonic plague, Kung flu, like, every major, like, every 100-year plague has come out of China. So.
Wow.
Yep. And then 2022 as well, the U.S. Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 75, or by 0.75, the largest increase since 1994 in an attempt to control rising inflation. Yeah, sure, like that's going to work. I don't know economics, but I do know that what we're doing today ain't going to solve anything. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream it every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Central.
And 2 Eastern.
Yep, for all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm Benny.
And you are you, and until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!